joined by exceptional content creator Sarah Langa to find out what she has been up to this year. Let's give her a warm welcome.
Thank you.
Hello, gorgeous girl. How are you today?
I'm so good. So happy to be here.
We are happy that you are joining us. Now, I'm trying to think of words to describe you, and I think outside of successful, busy comes to mind. Sarah, how in the world do you juggle all the things you do?
It's really difficult, but I think because I started off as an academic, you just learn time management from a really young age.
Yes.
And how to prioritize the things that are important. So I just have applied the same principles for this past decade, and it seems to be working really well.
Clearly it is because you are doing so well.
Yeah.
I'm also so happy that you touched up on being an academic, because clearly education is really important to you. How big of a deal do you think it's played for you to come from that world of academia?
So it was always my plan A. I finished high school knowing that I was going to be an academic. I wanted to be an actuary or a doctor.
Of course you did.
It only made sense that I needed a qualification to do that, because that was the only perception of a path that I had to success. So this came about, social media, sharing my life online, and slowly became a job. But I always stayed true to the plan A.
Yeah.
I always followed through with what my core initial goal was going to be. And yeah, here we are 4 qualifications later, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm still doing the same thing I was doing 10 years ago and still happy, but it's nice to know that I can pivot at any point.
I want to draw from the different hats that you wear. A lot of people don't know about SL Interiors, so please can we talk about that? It's your interior company that you have that's all about African modernism and beauty. What inspired that?
Interior design is a passion. I loved creating and curating spaces. So it was a no-brainer when I looked into branching into a new career path, because after a decade of content creation, I wanted to see like what else is out there. And I drifted towards my passion, which is to create homes. So I moved to London for 3 years to study interior design to get the qualification. And then I realized that there's a gap in the industry. We don't have a category within interior design that defines what an African home looks like.
Yes.
And I mean, you go to Paris and there's like a specific aesthetic when you walk into homes, hotels. And I just felt like it was just so sad that when I think of an African home, I can't think of...
Nothing specific comes to mind. Yes.
And I wanted to come back home and do research and find out what creates an African home and how do we modernize it, how do we make it appealing enough for the everyday person to want their home to look like that.
Yes.
And that is what SL Interior is pivoted on, creating African homes and modernizing African aesthetics and just trying to create a narrative behind what makes an African home.
Yes, and in South African context, that's so important.
Yeah.
Moving on though to fashion, we cannot talk with Sarah Langa without bringing up fashion. I'm going to start with Durban July this year because your look was amazing. Tell me about that black and gold look from Balmain and how the creative team came together.
So I spent 6 months pre-Durban July obsessed with subcultures, like African subcultures, and one subculture that stood out for me was the Skotane culture.
Yes.
And I think it's also because I grew up in the time when being a Skotane was super cool.
It was
and
the thing.
Yeah, it was really a thing, from the music to the just full-on aesthetic outfits and also just what the culture represented, you know?
Yes.
And obviously Durban July is a key event for me every year. And Balmain approached me and asked to dress me, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so perfect. I can't think of any other brand that represents luxury and that crossover of like European, Italian luxury with South African subcultures. And it was just a no-brainer and tied together with the theme as well. Like this was a true representation of what South Africa is, right?
Yes. I can't come to you and not speak about business or fashion because that was a big deal, Sarah. How in the world did you manage to get on that list, and what was the experience like? Who did you meet? I have so many questions, I don't know where to start, so I'll give it to you.
It's still a pinch me moment for me. Like it just happened a few weeks ago, and being able to remember that like I was in a room with all of the biggest global stars from like
all of them.
Wisdom Cade, who's like, I mean, look up to him, what he's been able to do in the digital space, and Kim Kardashian. I mean, I walked into the room and I was like, firstly, I thought it was going to be massive.
Yeah.
There weren't that many guests, like less than 100 guests.
Which makes it even more special,
so
Sarah.
it was super intimate. I was like talking to Ghana. I was like, yo.
Hi.
And he was so cool. And because everyone that was in that room was someone that's achieved something.
Yeah.
It's someone that has been in the fashion industry and been able to make such a major impact in their countries or in their markets when it comes to business and fashion. And I was invited by a Nigerian designer called Yinka Ash, and he owns this brand called Ash Luxury.
Ooh.
So I was there representing his brand as a muse, and I think it ties back into what I was saying about pivoting into interior design and African luxury and what that means. It's also just collaboration, right?
Yes.
Being able to go outside of South Africa and learn more about African fashion, learn more about African design, and just being able to like represent another African designer.
Yeah.
And being the first South African content creator who was also invited was just like really such a pinch me moment.
You have achieved so much over the years. I must ask, what is next for Sarah Langa?
Wow, definitely focusing a lot more on, interior design projects. So now I specialize in residential projects. I want to go commercial as well, because I really think that it would be incredible to see my work in spaces that are accessible to everyone.
Yes.
And yeah, I have a luxury consignment company called Luvant.
Of course you do.
And I wanted to launch a rental platform where people can take their designer bags and put it on a rental option.
Brilliant.
And make money off of it. So I think that's the thing, like just going more into entrepreneurship and exploring all the different gaps in the market and seeing how I can just find solutions for these gaps. So yeah.
Oh, we are excited to see it. Sarah, thank you for joining us, but we'll catch up with you in a bit.
Yes.
We applaud Sarah for all the incredible work that she has done, and we'll be back with you right after the break.